With the summer season in full effect and lots of kids quickly getting out of school for the first time since last summer, a lot of people are looking for a side hustle, and I think I found a very good one. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all enjoying your day so far. Not gonna waste too much time, just gonna jump straight into it like you guys like. Basically, my friend put me onto Doordash a few weeks ago, I would say, and I finally started doing it. At first I was super skeptical, but in this video I'm gonna tell you guys why I think it's a very good side hustle, better than almost any other one you could do right now, and some tips that I found in my 3 days of full shifts. So I have a little bit of experience. You would think that 3 days is not that much, but with something simple like Doordash, you learn pretty quickly the ins and outs, and the mistakes that I made, hopefully you guys won't make as well. So I was very skeptical in the beginning, of course, because I didn't know how much I would make versus how much I would have to spend on gas. I know that gas prices are skyrocketing, so there's that. I didn't know whether I would actually want to be sitting in the car all day, and all these other things. So let's just jump straight into it with, first off, the reasons why I think it's a very good side hustle. First of all, you can pick whatever hours you want. So basically you just open up your Dash app, click Dash Now, it'll like tell you a bunch of times that you can select to end your Dash, and you can work 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You can literally work any hour you want, which is so relieving for someone like me who is doing a lot of different like side things and not really having one set schedule. So if I want to work a lunch shift, I can, or if I'm free during dinner time, I can do that as well. Or if I just can't work that day due to weather or something else, then I'll just skip a day, and it doesn't do anything. Like, it's not like a regular sports job or like a supermarket job where you have to come in for certain hours on certain days. That's all alleviated with Doordash. Another reason why it's a pretty great side hustle is because, especially for introverts, you don't have to talk to that many people, but you still have to talk to enough people where you will probably get your feet wet in it, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to stand behind a Chipotle desk all day and talk to hundreds of people that walk through the door, but you do have to communicate a little bit with the people within the restaurants, and sometimes just greet the people whose houses you're delivering to. Another great thing is that you can learn at your own speed. There's no real pressure to do everything perfectly the first time. You can really experiment with it, and you can go to different areas and kind of figure out what you like doing. Everyone has a different style. So now I'm going to go into the tips that I've learned. First, I'm going to tell you guys about my yesterday's Dash, which was the best one that I've had so far. It was from 12 to 2, pretty much perfect timing for lunch. And the first tip I'm going to say off the bat, because this seems like a very obvious one, but I didn't take it the first day or two, and it didn't work as well. Start dashing at the times when the app says that your area is very busy. This will happen a lot throughout the day. Whenever it happens and you want to dash that day, just do it right then. Trust me, guys, if your area is busy, it will be so much easier, and the app is not lying to you. It actually wants drivers to be on shift when it's very busy in the area. So that's definitely a big tip, and that seems obvious, but I didn't take it because I thought, oh, it's only like marginally different, but no, it's actually a lot busier when it says it's busy. Another tip, that this is just for me, you guys can do what you want, but I prefer getting one full tank of gas, full to the brim, before starting my shift, and then go until pretty much empty. So it might be 3 or 4 shifts. Gas prices are obviously not ideal for this kind of job. That's like the main downside right now, but there's honestly not much we can do about that. So I'm just gonna explain the story of my yesterday dash, and then I'll give some tips. So yesterday, the reason why it worked out so well is because it started me off in my hometown. It gave me a restaurant 1 minute away. Then it drove me about 7 minutes out to a neighboring town, which had a Wendy's and a Burger King. Once you hit a town that has pretty high population and has two big chains such as Wendy's and Burger King, you know you've hit a gold mine. Like, those are the exact types of towns that you want to be in, because you can get up to 2 orders at a time. And basically, it sent me to Burger King first. I did my order, I delivered it, and then it sent me to Wendy's, and it gave me 2 orders. And both of these orders had to be delivered in a town that was a 4-minute drive from Wendy's. So I instantly delivered them pretty much with no driving. And the less you drive during the hours that you work, the more gas you'll conserve and the more you'll be able to work. So you basically, the main goal here is to not drive too much. The first day, it sent me to a town that was 17 minutes away. This brings me to my next tip. Before you accept the order, make sure that the amount of miles that you're driving is the same or less than the amount that you're being paid. If you're driving 17 minutes, but you're being paid $11, do not take that order. Just don't. You need at least 1 minute per mile that you're driving. So, $1. $1 per minute that you're driving or per mile that you're driving. A mile is like pretty close to a minute. I would say they average out pretty well. I believe the app tells you in miles, but you can just calculate it by putting it into the Maps app. So, obviously don't drive too far. Try and stay in these condensed areas with a lot of chain restaurants in them. You don't want to camp outside some sort of weird restaurant that no one really knows about, because there is a pretty good chance that you won't get many orders there. So definitely, stay within Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, and all those kind of restaurants, because there is a lot of them, so people won't have to order far away, and their house will probably be within a 5 to 10 minute radius of the restaurant. So that's obviously great for gas conservation and overall saving time. And also, it's not too hard to get the orders there. They usually don't take too long. The one restaurant that did screw me over was Five Guys. Five Guys made me waste 30 minutes because they had to recreate the order. They messed it up or something. This could have been an honest mistake, or it could just be that Five Guys is not a good spot to pick up from. That's something that I'm going to have to keep doing my research on, and kind of, you guys can do your research as well. See if it works, see if it doesn't. This is what I'm saying. Everyone has their own style. I'm giving you guys the basic tips on how to not completely screw up, but there's still going to be, wrenches in the road. And another thing that you guys have to realize is you will mess up. At one point, I actually ended up walking up this huge hill to deliver an order, only to realize that I walked up the wrong hill, had to walk all the way back down and walk up a different hill. I was like, wow, this sucks. But that stuff is bound to happen. Once you get through the first few times of doing the wrong thing, you'll just do the right thing, you'll know what to do, and that'll be pretty much the end of your mistakes. It's not too hard of a job once you get it down pat. Another tip, or just a thing that's good to know, is you can decline orders. So, as I said, if you don't like the spot that it's taking you to, just decline the order. You'll get one very soon after. Here's another big thing. If you're in an area with no restaurants, let's say you're outside your house or outside one of your delivery houses, you won't get orders potentially. You want to drive into areas that actually have restaurants. What I do is I open my Maps app, I type in food, and I just drive in the general vicinity of a Wendy's or a McDonald's, and then I start getting orders right away. So it's pretty simple. Like, obviously, when you're in the radius of restaurants, it'll want you to go to those restaurants since you're right there. And, you know, it wouldn't want to send someone from out of town to where you are. It would just give you that spot. And basically, you end up claiming these spots. And also, here's another thing that happened during my dash. So, at the end of the dash, after I delivered 4 Wendy's orders, 2 at a time, all of them to a neighboring town that was about a 5-minute drive from Wendy's. So, great loop right there. To top it all off, I got an order to drop off from like a stranger restaurant that I haven't heard of before to a spot that's about 3 minutes away. I was being paid about $3 for that order, but good thing I took it because the guy was actually the owner of some tow truck company. So he wasn't at a house, he was at work. And because of the obscurity of his location, he gave me a $9.75 tip. So that's an excellent tip and pretty much made my entire shift about 10% more profitable. So stuff like that will happen. They'll throw you a bone, and obviously that'll be great, but don't be expecting it. Just look out for more obscure orders with notes. I noticed that the ones who have notes give more because they assume that the dashers won't want to accept their order. Another thing for me personally, I've completely avoided all Walmart orders. I don't know if that's the right move or not, but it seems like there's a lot of work that goes into those, so I just didn't want to deal with it. I stuck to food. And yeah, like, besides that, so basically I'm just going to do a quick recap. Choose your orders wisely. Don't drive more miles than you have dollars being paid to you. What else? Don't go into areas with no restaurants. Go into areas that are tightly knit, have many chains within them, and have like residential homes nearby. Obviously, you might not be able to find an area that ticks all those boxes, but ideally you want to tick at least 2 of those. It'll just make it so much easier for you guys. Avoid highways completely. I would say just don't go on highways. It's a huge waste of gas. Be aware of your fuel consumption. Don't burn through a tank because you're driving far distances. Or also don't leave your car on. When you go into the restaurant, actually park and turn your car off. Don't just double park outside and leave your car on. It's a huge waste of fuel. So, with all that being said, I've talked a lot in this video, but I think that's pretty much it for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope you found this helpful. If you want me to make a video on how to apply for Doordash, definitely leave it in the description, or in the comments rather. Basically, it's pretty simple. Download the Dasher app, you need your driver's license, and just go through the steps. But if you guys do need extensive help, there's probably a video on YouTube that you can find. But if you really want one from me, let me know in the comments. And with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all soon.